Okay, we have made up our 2 sets of decticons. Now next job is we're going to screw our template, which is this hoop here. We're going to screw that to the inside of both of them, where they're going to join one another. Because the integrity of the circle might not be 100%, it can go back and forth. We will use the middle one and put it in just to give it as a guide to make sure we're still fully circular. So I'll put this one in the middle. We know where the router thickness, we'll know if we're forming a full circle or not. I'll put it over. Finger. That finger. Over. Finger. Same all round. Make it all same all round. That's good. Know by eye that's good. When we've these made up together, there will be a little bit of a bend in them as well, that's for sure. So I'm going to screw them all up. Just screw these all to this. I'm going to drill them and screw them. Okay, we're going to cut this with jigsaw, just roughly, and then the router I'll have less to take off. I'm going to wear the mask. Okay, now it's semi-round. As you can see, it's all roughed out with the jigsaw. Even the pieces that were glued, they didn't break away from one another. Now we're going to use this bit in the router. Got a bearing on it. Now the bearing is going to hit off the plywood, and we're going to and the same on the inside. So I'll set that up, and then we'll get back to you. Okay, now we've got one circle done. We'll just take the plywood off it. What we were doing there when I was fighting against the router, because you're kind of going against the grain some of the way, so I actually went in reverse onto the router bit. But I made 2 passes. I always prefer to make 2 passes. Why would you put pressure on your router bit? That's white side. Right side. Right side. It's a set. It's okay. That to come a long way to here. Okay, so I'm going to take this plywood off and put it onto the other one then, and we're going to do the whole lot all over again, but this is for a video, so I'm not going to show you everything twice. Okay, now we have our 2 layers. Now, if you wanted to be, maybe if you were doing it in a wooden frame building, you might want to put 3 layers, but this is going to be screwed into the concrete in 4 places. It's going to be strong as hell. Maybe for aesthetics you would do it like that too. So what we're going to do is, we'll take this one up, turn it over. Where we put the screws, that's where the glue is going to go. Oh no, we put it back, we'll make a mark where we're going to crisscross the joints because we have some small ones. So we want to make sure that we have good overlap. Where's the Gamai one on the top? Where? Oh, this one. So what we'll do is we'll put a pencil mark there. The little piece I put in, look, right in front of me. I'm just going to put a line there so we'll know where we're doing after we sand. So we're going to sand this one and we're going to sand this side. Just give it a rough up sanding with 100. Okay, we're going to put, just going to rough it up with 100 sandpaper because the glue will stick better. And in case there's any little bits of glue that's after coming up when we were laminating these and maybe where the screw is, so we'll just use 100 and give it a small little sanding. I don't want to sand it like it's rounded over. But now my mask now. There's a breeze. Breeze of wind came and it's after blowing. And the wind is coming from the mountain instead of from the ocean where it always comes from. Now, got this one ready to go on top. We're just going to make sure that our lines are lined up before we... Where's my line? Yeah, that's good. All our clamps ready here behind me here. Piece of wood there for threading that way. Now we're going to put a lot of clamp pressure on this, so this glue should squeeze out. If it doesn't squeeze out, we're doing something wrong. I'll just give it the initial flattening. Too much glue. Anyway, I think it'll be a little bit too much. Some parts anyway. We can always wipe it off. Can't put it back on. Anyway, this is an alternative way of making a window. This is what we're going to put in the heading if you don't have a bandsaw. Problem with a bandsaw is cutting the inside one. You have to put a slit in it with the inside and then join it up afterwards with. So it's looking good. Plenty of glue in it anyway. It's not cheap, this glue, because it has to be imported to the Philippines, and there's value-added tax and duty and everything goes on it. So things from the US. Now, can you see our line there? It's over there. Okay, we're going to put that just down on top. Now, I'm going to wedge this up and I'm going to put a little one this way as well. So my assistant's going to turn off the camera because he's going to have to help me. So I'm going to put these clamps, all these clamps on off. Okay, now we've it all clamped up and glued up. He's just cleaning off the glue. All the glue squashed out. We just take the heavy stuff off first and then get a damper cloth, and we will. You can't have too many clamps. I know you heard that phrase before, but basically we've used up all our clamps. These ones are not strong enough. These green ones I got from Rutland's in the UK. I think they're American. They're on special offer, and they seem to be strong. They're able to give a lot of pounds pressure, but not as good as a G clamp. You know, our G clamp is the best. So we have to let that set now. That's our window. Our plywood template here. Give it some kids to play with, I suppose, because I'm not going to be making a 4-foot, exactly 1.2 meter window again. The windows up on the top are significantly smaller. Okay, so we'll get back as soon as this dries. Altogether, at the moment, we've put in total hours, maybe about 5 to 6, including bringing the lumber down to 25 millimeters. As I said, if you had a bigger bit for the thing, we had a bigger bit, it would mean that we wouldn't have had it brought down. We could have kept it at 36, but that's what I have. Here in the Philippines, what we have, we use, and we improvise. But if I was making a wooden house like you have in the US and putting a round window in, certainly I'd put 3 layers and bring it wider than that. Okay, so next stage will be sanding this and then doing the Rebate in the US, Rebate in Europe for the glass, and the moulding on the inside. Okay, we're doing the Rebate or Rebate depending on where you are in the world. I've done one pass on it. I give it a light sanding with 100 grit. We'll give it a finer sanding later. I've done one pass on this big router bit here because it's going at a fierce high speed. So I'm going to do the second pass on it now. I'll just video a little bit of it. It's really noisy. Okay, now we'll check. Oh, sorry. The wife's camera. Let's see what our rebate is like. Rebate. Now that feels good all round. We need a light bit of sandpaper. We're taking a bit of our dowel out, but we don't worry about that. It's not going to affect it. Now our next job then is to put in the bit for the moulding, and put the moulding on the other side. The kit I had, they were putting rebates ridiculous. I'm after putting this one about 18 millimeter deep. You need that so you can get a good. We'll make thin slips to hold the glass in after the glass is in. No, I'm happy with that. Now we have our moulding bit in for making the oblong on the wood, so we're going to start it up. Let's see what we have put over here in the light. Just have to sand the inside of this now. That's our window made. That's basically our window made now. We just have to give it a light sanding. All the moulding is done in it. Light little bit of sanding by hand. And that's a round window, an alternative method without having without using a bandsaw. So if you don't have a bandsaw, you can still make a window and a round one. And it's perfectly round, and it's all hardwood, and there's no end grain, and it's strong. Circle is always strong anyway. Okay, there's our window done now, moulding. 4 foot, so even in the camera looks distorted. See the moulding on the bottom. That's the window finished. Please subscribe.